Any questions?
Okay, if you say that you want to do that, I think we need a grand jury form, a grand jury 25 people. Otherwise, they have a gun and everything, you know.
Okay, the question is, just for the tape here, do we need a grand jury in order to form this? No. The grand jury comes from the... When you have a court system, then you can have a grand jury that works under the authority of that court system. The grand jury comes after the court, not the other way around. First you fill the offices, then you petition the court for a grand jury. And the court will direct the jury as the court sees fit. The jury exists at the pleasure of the court, not the other way around. And I know there's people that disagree with me, but please research that out. You will see that I'm correct. Jason.
Why was there an 11-year period between 78 and 89 for admission when we had a constitution in place? Why did it take 11 years to become admitted?
There's a civil war going on right in here somewhere. The Civil War was before that,
Yeah.
but the Reconstruction played into that. There was some hanky-panky going on in D.C. The Reconstruction, there was a lot of bad things happening in D.C. with the Reconstruction. Basically, the states were being trumped out of their authority. Terry, you have a point on that?
I did a little research on that. And what happened there was that right after the Reconstruction period, which ended in 1887, 89, from that point on, the Democrats held the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and they did not allow North, South Dakota, Montana, or New Mexico to enter in as states into the Union because they were all Republican form, so they denied. The people in Walla Walla did present the Constitution 3 times, got denied 3 times, and then just forgot about it until the convention in Ellensburg in 1889. And then they went forward with it. And what happened was the election of 1888 brought down the Democrat control of the House and the Senate and the presidency, and then the Republicans took over, so they became a lame duck, so they said, go ahead and submit.
Okay, so if I could restate that in case you didn't hear that. He's saying basically that they did present this to the Congress back in 1878, but because of the politics involved, the Congress refused to admit them. Now, like I said before, that doesn't affect Washington statehood,
Right.
but Washington statehood was predicated upon the territorial offices continuing until admission. And so nothing was done from that standpoint until finally when there was a change in politics back in D.C. and they were admitted, now things start happening. But that's, to answer the question, is politics as usual is what blocked them back here. Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
Okay, the Ellensburg in 1889, all the building being fired, is that affect to that the creation of the...
Okay, the question is, there was a fire in Ellensburg after this convention. Certainly there may have been documents that were destroyed, and yes, it's possible that that was destroyed on purpose because there was obviously underfoot a group of people who, for whatever reason, did not want to see Washington achieve statehood. I mean, that's pretty obvious. And even today, there's lots of people that claim these de facto offices that do not want to see a reformation of government. They don't want to lose their cushy positions. But that's just what they are. They are not offices in law. Now, we don't go to these non-offices and petition them. They would have no authority or standing to answer the question. If there's any court that would hear this issue, it is not a state court. It is a federal court, specifically one federal court, the Supreme Court of the United States. That's the only court. After admission, we have a court. So that's what I'm saying. We have federal help, but we have to achieve it through the proper channels. The only court that's going to hear this issue and can hear this issue would be the Supreme Court of the United States. These courts that exist in Washington that we call courts exist in fact, but not in law. And I know it's going to be tough for people to grasp. It's not that they don't have power to hurt you, but they don't have the authority of the people behind them. They exist by unconstitutional statutes. And the law is clear. An unconstitutional statute is null and void from its inception. So if that is true, then they have no office. You don't petition them for, to reestablish. You assert the claim, and if necessary, you push it to a proper court, the Supreme Court of the United States. Okay, that's all that I'm going to do today. If there's more questions, feel free to join us at the Jural Society. We meet in Ellensburg the second Saturday of every month at around 10 o'clock. Bring your questions and comments at that point. Thank you.